Imagine turning on your television in the early 1950s and watching a comedy that felt completely alive. The audience was real, the laughter was real, and the woman at the center of it all seemed fearless enough to embarrass herself in ways no actress had ever dared before. That show was I Love Lucy. It premiered on October 15th, 1951, ended on May 6th, 1957, and somehow managed to reshape television forever. But the real story behind the show is stranger and more fascinating than most fans ever realized. At first, the network didn't even believe in the premise. Executives worried that American audiences wouldn't accept a marriage between Lucille Ball and a Cuban bandleader with a thick accent. In real life, Ball was already married to Daisy Arnaz. Yet CBS thought viewers wouldn't buy it. Lucy refused to do the show unless her real husband played her husband on screen. It was a gamble that could have destroyed the project before it even began. Instead, it became one of the most iconic partnerships in television history. The production itself was revolutionary. Instead of filming cheaply in New York like most early TV programs, Lucy and Desi insisted on shooting in Hollywood on expensive 35mm film. They even took pay cuts to make it happen. In return, they kept ownership of the episodes. That single decision would later earn their company, Desilu Productions, in nearly $40 million, which would equal about $256 million today. And the show didn't just change business, it changed how television was made. I Love Lucy became the first sitcom filmed in front of a live studio audience using a 3-camera system, a method that is still used by sitcoms today. Every episode was performed in front of roughly 300 people, and many scenes were captured in a single take because Lucy thrived on the energy of a crowd. Behind the scenes, though, the cast relationships were more complicated than they appeared. William Frawley and Vivian Vance, who played Fred and Ethel, were nearly 20 years apart in age and famously clashed off camera. Their arguments were legendary, even though their on-screen chemistry felt effortless. Some of the show's most famous moments were accidents. In the legendary Vitametta Vegamin episode, Lucy pretended to get drunk while promoting a tonic, but the liquid she swallowed repeatedly was actually apple pectin. In another scene during the grape stomping episode, she briefly began choking, yet kept performing until the camera stopped. The show's popularity was almost unbelievable. When Lucy gave birth to little Ricky on television, more Americans watched that episode than President Eisenhower's inauguration. Stores closed early. Water usage dropped across the country. Even phone calls slowed down because people were glued to their TVs. And when the show ended in 1957, it was still ranked #1. Yet perhaps Lucy's greatest achievement came after the laughter faded. When Lucille Ball later ran Desilu Studios, she approved a risky science fiction pilot that executives wanted to cancel. That series became Star Trek, changing television again. So what made I Love Lucy endure? It wasn't just slapstick comedy or clever writing, it was courage. Lucy was willing to look ridiculous, challenge television rules, and bet on ideas no one else believed in. And that's the quiet truth behind the laughter. Sometimes the shows that make us laugh the hardest are created by people brave enough to take the biggest risks.